Hello, this is Sheryl Willis over at Go Arizona Real Estate coming to you with an April. How is it already April? Monthly market update vlog. This has information for buyers and more for sellers than we have heard in a long time. So let's first talk about what's going on in the current market that you have not heard of yet. And it's called listing deficit. So we all know that the market will dictate the balance or imbalance of buyers and sellers. When you have equal amounts, that's when we have a balanced market. Well, what we saw over the last couple of years was too little inventory with too many buyers. Well, what we are seeing today is although we are back up to an 80% of normal buyer activity for its seasonal numbers, so we're only seeing a deficit of about 20%, we are seeing about a 60% of the inventory that we need. What is happening each and every month? Although the buyer demand has just kind of stayed about the same, even gone down a little bit, what we've not seen is new listings coming on the market. In fact, this is the lowest recorded new listings in 23 years. So we have had an absolute craziness over the last couple of years. Here's what the difference is, though. Interest rates were so low, and we had a ton more buyers. But to be honest with you, we also had a ton more sellers. It didn't seem like it because exponentially we had too many buyers. But in today's market, what we're seeing is it's really getting quite imbalanced again. In fact, the city of Chandler, a lower price single family home right around 415, 420, which by the way, you couldn't even find a year ago, received 19 offers the first week on the market. So what does this mean for everybody? It means, first of all, the news isn't going to be reporting this until it's behind us. So why is current data important to you? Because if you are thinking of buying or selling, having up-to-date current information gives you the leading edge. Nobody wants to be the last one to, the party, right? All right, so the top hottest markets in the greater Phoenix right now, believe it or not, is Chandler and Gilbert. Shocking. A lot of people think it's always Scottsdale. It's not. Here's what was happening in Scottsdale. We've seen a lot of short-term rentals that have turned into long-term rentals. We have seen short-term rentals that turned into long-term rentals, and they didn't get the price they want because they bought at the peak of the market during COVID, and they were hoping to generate that triple X type of revenue. And so those nice homes, don't get me wrong, in Scottsdale have gone on the market. So believe it or not, the demand in Scottsdale is a little bit more balanced than it is, like I said, in Chandler and Gilbert. Now, coming in third, believe it or not, is Goodyear. Goodyear is becoming quite a bit of a seller's market. So what does this mean as we start to see a lot more buyers come out, although not what we saw, but we're seeing fewer and fewer new listings. And the new construction, which has really been the hot spot, we wrote over 10 contracts in the month of March just for new construction. Those closeouts, as I've been talking for the last many months, is get in while the builders are just kind of handing out some really good incentives. They're doing some buy downs, they're lowering the prices. Well, as those inventories are depleting, they're not replenishing them. In fact, we are seeing new build permits for single family home reduced back to 2014 and 2015 levels. So this is all happening when we're seeing not seven, but we're still in the sixes. Is six the new norm? Not really. Look, FHA, and here's another little tip. FHA is a great loan, and I think a lot of people just have a stigma tied to it. That it's for first-time home buyers, maybe, or they don't like mortgage insurance, which nobody likes mortgage insurance, right? But here's the thing with FHA. Number one, they have the lowest interest rates than all the different types of loans. Number two, they have the best appraisals that come in, like they're really using the right comps, and they're coming in at the purchase price. I know that doesn't make a whole lot of sense maybe right now, but if you're the not so perfect buyer, meaning you didn't have that 20 to 50% to put down to compete in last year's market, you can now get a home get some concessions, you get it at market value, the appraisal comes in, you don't have to cover the gap. A FHA loan is only 3.5% down. There's some other discounts also with that MI insurance, which is the mortgage insurance, which I realize it's not MII anyways. But the debt to income is much higher, and they're just generally an easier loan to work with. And here's the thing. The max limit is up to $550 now. So if you are thinking of buying a home and you're in that low 500s, mid 500s, I'd really recommend that you look at doing FHA if you are putting down even as much as 10%. Now, if you're putting down 20% to avoid mortgage insurance, you'd still want to maybe weigh out the pros and cons, because you can drop mortgage insurance, you can refinance, which most people right now are refinancing. But here's the thing, FHA this morning was 5.66. When the word gets out that it's 5.66, we're going to see a lot more buyers, which that brings me to my next thing. Sellers. Look, a lot of people felt like they were ripped off, that they didn't get in the game. FOMO, right? We saw the market going up absolutely nutty over the last couple of years. Here's the thing. If you've owned your home for 5 years, you've still seen a 74% appreciation. Yeah, it's not that bad. And if you've owned your home 3 years, which we always say you should own a home if you're going to live there for 3 or more years. Well, if you bought a home 3 years ago, you still have almost 35% appreciation. So you're still sitting pretty good. But you got to let the numbers go that you saw in early 2022. That was the Fugazi. If you didn't cash in at the very, very top, it's gone. But here's the good thing. If you bought your home in December, what a deal. Let me tell you, since December, we have seen 4 consecutive months of increases in values. In fact, the median for the greater Phoenix area at one time was like 440, 30, something like that. It went back down to 410 in December. It's back up to 427. So you don't want to wait. I know everybody keeps thinking, I want to wait until the interest rates come down. Buy now and refinance down the road, because seller concessions are also starting to go away. Not only with new construction, but resale. Sellers aren't budging. They're waiting. They have a hands up. And again, this is the message to the sellers. If you are thinking of selling, I'm telling you, this fall is going to be a phenomenal time, or next spring. So now is a great time to start making investments in your home. Buyers are getting really picky right now if you want top dollar. And if those interest rates start going down even more, we're going to start to see those multiple offers. And if you want to get the biggest bang for your buck, you want to put money back in your home. Curb appeal. Oh my gosh. Start putting money in your curb appeal. Paint your house. Redo your front screen. Even just paint the front door. Change the doorknob. Give that front yard. Your neighbors are going to love you too. That's the first and least expensive thing. And while before it's too hot, it's the easiest thing to do. And the second thing, I'll be honest with you, everybody wants these days flooring. They want one floor, one type of flooring all the way through your house. Look, guys, if you're going to do it, do it. Don't just, I'll tell you, walking into a house and seeing the original tile when you first walk in, and then once was a carpeted family room, and now it's like a laminate or even a real wood. But then you go in the kitchen and it's yet another, and you go in the laundry room and it's another, and then okay, one. If you have a 2-story, you get 2. The entire first floor of a 2-story home should be tile, laminate tile, wood style tile, plank style tile, big old baseboards. Don't cut corners. I'm telling you, you're making a $30,000 investment, and don't cut it short by $10,000, and then you don't get the offer you want. I'm telling you, we are going to start to see multiple offers, more so than you probably think. We already are. Like I said, a good entry point, single family home, 19 offers first weekend. Is it bad, guys? Well, I don't know. Summertime is typically a cool off time for buyers. But here's the thing. That's also when you see fewer homes on the market. And we are already right now, like I said, 23 years This is the lowest new listings. And as far as quantity of listings, it's only the third lowest we've ever seen. Guess what the previous two were? 2 years ago and 3 years ago during COVID. So if you are a seller, now's the time to spruce it up and get ready. And last message for my investors. Look, if you already own properties here in the greater Phoenix area, you're probably seeing a very nice cash flow as we saw an influx of rental rates over the last several years. Know that those rates have come back down to numbers that we actually saw in 2020. So when it's time for you to renew, do not, I would recommend anyways, do not raise your rent, or you might see that tenant hop on out to save a couple $100 to another house that might be just down the road. So think about that before you increase any rents in 2023. If you are thinking of buying a property in the greater Phoenix area for investment purposes, definitely, this is a buy and hold market. We will see a moderate increase, but here's what the challenge is for investment. If you're paying cash, you're going to see a nice return of about 4.5% to 5%, which is what you might see in some of the long-term CDs right now. That is a good return. And of course, you're going to build that appreciation. If you are thinking about buying an investment property and you're financing, now is not a good time for you, because those interest rates today are really going to make it difficult for you to cash flow. All right, guys, if you are thinking of buying and selling, I'm telling you, sellers, get ready. Don't be caught off guard. I'm telling you, I'm giving you the warning. And buyers, don't wait too long, because you're going to miss that window before it starts to get to insanity again. I think that's coming down the pike. So be prepared. I'd love to answer your questions. First-time home buyers, move-up buyers, move-down buyers, retirees, investors liquidating their assets, whatever you got, I got you covered. All right, guys. Sheryl Willis at Go Arizona Real Estate, and I hope to see y'all soon. Bye.